Hey, what's up everyone? Maciej Liva here. I have new update for you guys related to Vision GP. We have quite a bunch of stuff to talk about, so let's dive in. The first thing is we created a new wiki page that will be a hub of, all the information related to Vision. So let me show you. As you can see here, it's our website. And originally all the documentation for Vision GP was living right here. So if I click it, that's where we put some videos related to Vision GP and, with some demos and stuff like that. Now, pretty quickly, it became obvious to me that it's a little bit limiting and it's not as easy to expand it as I wanted. So this page is going to disappear probably this week, and it's going to be replaced, or already is kind of replaced, with our Vision Wiki right here. So if I click it, it's going to take me to this portal where you see we're going to just put everything related to Vision, whether it's going to be videos, examples, demos, documentation, any important links that you might want to access and so on. Is going to be right here. It's going to be like a centralized place for you to go to learn about Vision. Okay, so as you can see, we have the documentation page, video updates like this one that you're watching right now, a section for tips and tricks where you will be able to learn a little bit more specific workflows and kind of user cases, how Vision GP was used, and a little section where you will be able to see like all kinds of different videos with the work that has been done with Vision. Also important, we have Discord server now, so it's publicly available. You don't need to buy Vision GP to access it. You can just go there and kind of hang out with other people already using Vision, and you can also give us feedback, and just connect with us right there. So if you click it, that's where the link is for our Discord server. Now let's really quickly talk about the documentation. So if I click it, everything is organized into sections like this. I recorded a bunch of new videos that kind of go over every single feature in Vision GP. There's maybe like 2 sections that still need a little bit more attention and a little bit more tutorial and explanation. So they should come this week. But overall, the documentation has been really expanded with new videos. I try to go over every single button group that belongs to Vision GP. So please check it out. I think there's a lot of stuff that you can learn that was not available before. Okay. And that leads us to probably the most exciting part, which is new features in Vision GP. So I want to use this kind of video updates to basically give you guys like a glimpse behind the curtains of what's going on. So you can learn about new features, not when they're like released, but while they're in progress. So let me show you what I've been up to with Vision GP and what's coming possibly before Christmas. The features that I'll show you today are for storyboard artists. It's a custom timeline and a custom tool set for storyboarding that expands on the current feature set of Vision GP. So let me show you one by one. So if I click storyboards right here, you will see that I get these 2 buttons. And if I click this one right here, I will have a little pop-up that will allow me to create like a new cut. So right now I have completely empty scene in Blender. If I click this button right here, what happens, it creates under the hood something that is called a version. And you can think of it as a cut of shots, right? So basically you can assemble your sequence, and it can be like a version A, like your first cut. And let's say if you got some revisions or notes and whatnot, and you're gonna keep developing that sequence, you will be able to duplicate it, keep that original cut, work on the new version, and then edit it, change it, and so on. So a version is like basically a container of shots that are organized on the timeline in a specific cut. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, if I show you the dope sheet before I actually show you the custom timeline, you see that right now I have a shot, I have a marker, so that's something that actually existed in Blender. So I have a little marker, I have a frame range, so I have a shot that is 100 frames, and I can start drawing in that shot, because by default it creates a shot with a grease pencil attached to the camera. It doesn't have to be like this. You can, you know, turn it off and just create a shot without any grease pencils. Why does it matter? Because you can put whatever you want in your shot. Like, it can be a 3D object, it can be a grease pencil, it can be pointed to camera, it doesn't have to. A shot is just a container, so you can put whatever you want inside of it, okay? You can think of it as a collection that has a bunch of stuff inside of it. And this entire tool set automates a lot of workload and managing, you know, of like turning on and off different collections and so on. Everything is kind of automated, you'll see. So it's easy to use. Okay, but anyway, back to the shot. I have a shot, I have a grease pencil, and just for the simplicity of this demo, I'm just gonna draw a bunch of triangles to explain the idea how this stuff is going to work for you under the hood, okay? So I have a grease pencil with these 3 different drawings, okay, in this shot. And, you know, maybe I want this shot to be a little shorter. I can do it like this. You see how that frame range changes? So I can do it like this, all right? So far, so good, pretty straightforward. Now let's say I want to add another shot with circles. I can just press plus. That shot kind of disappears. And now I can start drawing the circles, all right? But check this out, while I'm scrubbing, if I scrub to this previous shot, now I see the triangles, I don't see the circles anymore. And then if I scrub back, oh, there's a circle. So you see, like, you can see I'm cutting between 2 different shots, but it's not just switching from one camera to another. By the way, I can totally change the camera in this shot, right? I can move it wherever I want. And of course I have a pointed grease pencil to the camera, that's why this circle doesn't move. But I just want to show you that you can move your cameras any way you want in your shots. And let's say now I want to add another shot. So I have triangle, circle, a shot with rectangle, okay? So there it is. And I'm going to create a rectangle. So 1, 2, and 3. Let's just make the white canvas so we can see a little bit better. And again, I'm gonna rotate the camera. So each shot has like a different camera placement. Yeah, different grease pencils in them, right? And check this out, while I scrub, I just turn on and off these like collections, these containers for shots. So you can see I can put whatever I want there. I can, let's say, doing the typical grease pencil, Vision GP workflow, I can add a grease pencil over there, make like a little circle over there. You see? It exists in this shot, but if I go here, it doesn't exist. So maybe, yeah, maybe you can see this a little bit better from here. So there's a circle, there's those circles. So as you can see, you can create shots with the simple interface. You can change that out point. So it's very easy to control the timing of your shot. Not only that, like what is important is that while you're making your shot shorter, it actually moves everything in those other shots accordingly. So everything is synchronized. You see the placement of these keys for the circle and maybe for this other circle that I had in this shot, it moves. So keep an eye on this yellow key right here. If I go to this shot, extend it, you see that the yellow key moved, so everything is synchronized and connected, right? So it's pretty cool. Now, you don't have to just change shots like this. You can also move shots around. So for example, if I press this button, I can move this shot around. And again, all the keyframes, everything that exists in those shots will be automatically adjusted. So it's very easy to use this way. Now, there's another concept here of coverage. So the idea is that, you know, if you have like a really long shot, you want to cut back and forth to it. Like you don't want to create multiple shots per every time you cut to that setup. So if you have like over the shoulder that is like a push in, You just want to have one camera that you're pushing in and like storyboard whatever is in that shot, right? And then you want the ability to cut back and forth to it. So that's where the idea of coverage came to place. Let me show you how that works. You can take any shot in your cut. Let's say this with the circle, and you can isolate that shot. So what happens if I press this button right here? Now I'm in the isolated mode for that shot. So you see I can change the range of this shot to something like this, for example. I can draw another circle. So you see like this shot all of a sudden is much longer. But if I go back to the cut, this shot only gonna be from here to here in that cut. But because this frame range is so long, I will be able to create shots, for example, this one, where I would cut back to that shot. So it's the functionality that is still not quite there, but you will be able to cut to the same shot multiple times. So hopefully that makes sense. So you can make one version of a shot that is in isolated mode, animate that camera, make it as long as you want, and basically render it as like one coverage, just like you would do in live action take, you know, the regular camera, and then you'll be able to cut back and forth. I hope it makes sense. So basically what this workflow allows you to do is create shots, define your cameras. There's nothing stopping you from, you know, changing the camera lens and all that good stuff that comes with Vision GP by default. It's gonna work. And the nice thing about it is that it kind of behaves like one grease pencil in a way, even though it is not, because those are all different grease pencil objects, but it feels like it's one object. If I press play, you will see that it all automatically is like on, off, and yeah, that's about it. It's very, very, very simple. Now, there's a bunch of other stuff here that is in development still, like, you know, removing shots, duplicating shots, audio, you know, offsetting audio. So when you move shots, it would move your audio if you want to, stuff like this. So that's why this is not ready to be released quite yet, and it's more extra work. But of course, what I really want is to stay in a mode like this, you know, where it's full screen. And this is where the custom timeline comes into play, okay? So Blender comes with an add-on called Grease Pencil Tools, I believe, that gives you a timeline like this. You see this? It's very nice. I really, really love it. But I don't necessarily love the fact that I'm moving that playhead left and right. And it's a little bit limited in terms of like what I want it to be doing. So right now I'm in the process of developing a new custom timeline. And let me show you how that looks like. So that timeline would look like something like this. And what is nice about it is that you don't have to hold a hotkey to have it visible. You don't need to hold Alt and middle mouse button to see the timeline. You can just turn it on and off, and it just stays on your in your viewport, right? You can go, you know, next key, previous key, but you can also press this button, and this is especially cool on Cintiq. You can press it and move it left to right. You can zoom it bigger or smaller. And it also shows you your shots. So you see this? The shot that you're currently in gets a little bit bigger, while the other shots get smaller, right? And then, for example, I am in this shot and I want to move it. I can do that. And I just move that shot. I hope that kind of makes sense. So let me zoom back in. And what is also cool is that I not implemented yet, but all this functionality here, but it was expanded. So this next key, previous key, is gonna work in such a way that you can go next key, previous key, and it's gonna go to the previous and next shot as well seamlessly. And you can also switch it to shots. So we see how if I press this, it goes to the next shot, previous shot. All that functionalities will be implemented here on this timeline. So you'll be able to click one of these buttons and either go go to the next frame, previous frame, like I'm doing right now. But you'll also be able to set it to keyframes, and then while you're dragging, it will just go from the next key to another, or from the current key to another, if that makes sense. So that is coming. Again, this is still work in progress, so it's not quite there, but it's gonna be there very, very soon. And what is still missing on this timeline is actually displaying keys. So we'll be able to see all the keyframes as well, either on the timeline or kind of below it. It's still kind of, I'm in the process of designing it, but you will be able to imagine that there will be keyframes visible like this. But I think there will be like another line below, for example, for object keys or for like your grease pencil layers keys, that you will have like another like row that will show you all those different keys that will be at your disposal. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, custom timeline. Still early days, but I really believe that that is gonna allow you to basically stay in full screen mode. So you see, I can create like a new shot and I can, just keep drawing. I don't have to go anymore to that view where I see the dope sheet. Now, nothing's stopping you from using dope sheet if you choose to, right? Like you can still use it, no problem. It's there, for you if you prefer. But like my real ambition is to create a workspace where I can stay full screen, work on Cintiq, and I will have everything that I need just in this kind of view. So with all these options here, you will be able to like storyboard your sequences pretty easily, benefit from everything that Blender has to offer to you in terms of its real-time rendering and so on. There is going to be functionality that will allow you to render all those shots. So imagine that you got all your sequence boarded in real time, and then you want to send all that stuff to your editor. With one press of the button, it will render all those shots with their full coverage. So remember, like if you are like in a specific shot in isolated mode, like it can have like a different range, right? It would render all that stuff with full coverage, and it will also set up everything, the entire cut in the video sequencer to match your cut from the 3D view or like from your scene. So now you'll have exact copy of your cut here in a video sequencer in the form of videos, and then you will be able to send that to your editor. Maybe they use DaVinci or Premiere, and they will get that cut on their end. Okay, so that's kind of like the idea behind all of this, that it gives you the real-time workflow. You don't need to make playblasts, but once you're done, you will be able to like render everything and start transitioning towards more like a playblast workflow if you want to. There will be more videos and workshops and tutorials explaining all that stuff. It's hard to explain everything just with a simple demo like this. But I just wanted to give you guys a glimpse of what's coming to Vision GP, because I do believe it's gonna make the life of a storyboard artist and cinematic artist, whether you draw or you do 3D, it's just gonna make your life so much easier and so much more fun. And that's what all this toolset is about, like giving you an environment that is fun to use, that kind of gets out of the way so you can do your work and focus on your craft, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you today in terms of new features coming to Vision GP. Now, there's one last thing that I really wanted to talk about. It's really important to me because it feels really special. I released Vision GP, over 2 weeks ago, and the feedback we were getting was just unbelievable. It was amazing. I have received so many different messages from different artists from all around the world, professionals and beginners alike, people who are just getting into Blender and people who have been using Blender for quite a bit, people who really want to switch to Blender, people who already work in different studios on some pretty big productions. So yeah, crazy range of different people saying that they really like it. They love Vision GP and where it's going, and just sharing their enthusiasm. And that is really special to me to hear. It's extremely encouraging. You know, we've been building this toolset for ourselves, but it's been kind of in the cave for quite a while, meaning not many people had access to this. So seeing how people respond to it now that parts of it are available on the Gumroad, it's amazing. So I just wanted to say thank you. I really appreciate your support, your feedback. It really means the world to me, and makes me, you know, wake up every morning with a smile on my face. So again, thank you so much. And with that, that will be it. So thank you for this video update. Thank you for sticking around, and till the next one. Bye.